testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
Tina L. Carver.
And can you spell your last name for the court reporter?
C-A-R-V like Victor E-R.
Ms. Carver, where are you employed?
Lee County Office of the Sheriff.
And, I'm sorry, Your Honor, may I remain at the table, or would the court prefer I go to the
That's
podium?
fine.
And in what capacity are you employed at the Lee County Sheriff's Office?
I am the supervisor of the Forensic Latent Division.
And what are your duties there?
I supervise 4 girls that are underneath me. I also work on the APHIS system, which is Automated Fingerprint Identification System. Whereas if a person gets arrested, I look at their fingerprints, compare them to unsolved crimes. We actually go to the morgue. According to how bad the crime scene is, we'll actually go to a crime scene.
Let's talk about your experience specifically with latent fingerprints. Do you have any specialized training in the examination of latent fingerprints?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the court what kind of training that is?
We actually have to attend classes every other year. So right now I have several thousand of hours of classes that I have attended.
And did you have to complete any specialized training in order to become a latent print examiner?
Yes, sir. The very initial class, if you don't pass it, at the time when I took it, it was a 3-week course. If you don't pass it, then you have to go back to your other job. I did pass it. It is that you pass through FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. So I did pass it, and I became a latent examiner, and I've been one for 20 years.
And in order to be a latent examiner, do you have to maintain a certification?
Yes,
And have you maintained that certification?
we have.
Have you ever had an opportunity to examine a known latent print and compare that to an unknown latent print to determine what the source was of the unknown latent print?
Thousands.
Thousands of times?
Yes.
Have you ever testified as an expert before?
Yes, sir.
How many times?
In excess of 100.
And for the record, an expert in latent print examination?
Yes, sir.
And did you have an opportunity to conduct a latent print examination in the instant case of State of Florida versus Jimmy Ray Rodgers?
I did.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit Number 1 has previously been shown to the defense. For the record, Your Honor, Exhibit 1, the State's going to offer as a self-dedicating document the instant case fingerprints of Jimmy Ray Rodgers, 15 CF 000673A, rolled here in open court on October 23rd, 2019, signed by the court. Do you recognize State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, sir, I do.
What is it?
It appears to be court roll prints of a Jimmy Ray Rodgers.
And did you have an opportunity to conduct a latent print examination of State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me show you State's Exhibit Number 2. For the record, Your Honor, the State's Exhibit Number 2 is a subject of the court's ruling, the business records from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit Number 2 and ask if you recognize Exhibit 2.
Yes, sir, I do.
And does Exhibit 2 contain latent fingerprints?
It contains fingerprints. Yes, sir.
And are those fingerprints that purport to belong to Jimmy Ray Rodgers?
Yes, sir, they are individualized to him.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to conduct a latent print comparison of the fingerprints contained within State's Exhibit Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2?
Yes, sir, I did.
What were the results of your comparison?
That they were individualized belonging to Jimmy Ray Rodgers.
So for the record, the instant case prints in Exhibit 1 were the same prints contained within Exhibit 2?
Yes, sir.
Or from the same person?
Yes, sir.
And just for the record, I'd like to object to that testimony based on my previous objection to Exhibit 2.
Noted for the record, overruled.
Your Honor, for the record, the State would, at this time, admit State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2.
You renew your objection.
Yes, no objection as to the fingerprints, objection to improper business records on the other one.
Noted for the record, overruled. We'll show both admitted.
We tender the witness.
No cross.
Is this witness to be released?
Yes, she's free to go, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
also in support of our prison releasee reoffender notice. The state also has self-authenticating documents from the U.S. District Court, Eastern District Court of Missouri. We are offering these into evidence as certified public records. They contain the raised seal of the Eastern District, United States District Court. For the record, we have State's Exhibit number 3, which is the judgment and sentence of Jimmy Ray Rodgers, case number S1-4:009CR00797-SNLJ, U.S. Marshal number 36938-044. That's State's Exhibit number 3. We would offer that into evidence as a self-authenticating document under seal.
Judge, I don't have an objection as far as long as they're under seal. However, I don't know the relevance to the prison releasee reoffender portion of this sentence.
It is under seal. We'll show it admitted.
And the state's offering the records because this is a conviction for the offense that sent Mr. Rodgers to prison that he was released on.
I apologize. I was thinking they're the Missouri records. That's
Yeah.
fine.
We also have the guilty plea agreement from Eastern District Court, Eastern District of Missouri, number S1-4:09CR797-SNLJ, a certified public record under seal from the Eastern District Court of Missouri. That's State's Exhibit number 4. We offer that as a self-authenticating document.
No objection.
We'll show it admitted.
We also have State's Exhibit number 5, the superseding indictment filed in the Eastern District Court of Missouri, federal case number S1-4:09CR797-SNLJ, another certified public record under seal from the United States Eastern District. That's State's Exhibit number 5. We offer that as a self-authenticating document.
No objection.
Show it admitted.
Judge, if the court will review within the State's Exhibit number 2, the Bureau of Prison Records, and we put a little tab in there for you to help you find it. There is a release date within the printout that shows that Mr. Rodgers was released from federal prison on or about 9/24/2014. And that is just under a year from the instant offense date of, well, the homicide date of 6/28/15. We allege that, well, the conspiracy was a not guilty. So the homicide date is a 6/28/15. The Bureau of Prison Records and the release date established that the instant case homicide was committed within 3 years of Mr. Rodgers' release from federal prison. And under statute 775.082 subsection 9, he qualifies as a prison releasee reoffender, subject to the sentencing requirements of that statute. And we're asking that the court designate Mr. Rodgers as a prison releasee reoffender.
Could I inquire as to what page that is? That page 30 that you're referring to?
That would be your discovery sentencing page 30. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, as far as argument goes, the paperwork does not actually contain a release date. If you review the paperwork, Mr. Rodgers was sentenced June 1st, 2011. Page 30 shows a statutory release date projected 9/24/2014, and it shows something called an actual satisfaction date. Neither of those say that's actually the day he was released. Without proof of the day he was released, they haven't proven prison releasee reoffender.
Judge, the record speaks for itself. The sentence was satisfied on 9/24/2014.
Okay. The defense's objections noted for the record. I believe the state has met its burden, and he'll be sentenced as a prison releasee reoffender.
And I did bring an order for the court.
Yes, sir.
Where'd I put it? Here it is.
Just count 2.
Here's a copy for the defense. Order designating Mr. Rodgers as a prison releasee.
Judge, subsequent to taking into account the argument, I don't have an objection to the form of the order.
Noted for the record. State.
This time, the state would call Ms. Groves for victim impact, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.